Have y'all heard of positive reinforcement? If you're not quite sure what it is, or even if you do know what it is, we're going to discuss that today, so y'all stick around. So what is positive reinforcement? Well, it can mean a lot of different things, but the main things are when somebody does something favorable, something good, you reward them with either something tangible or with words. If somebody does the yard and they do an outstanding job, you say, you did a fantastic job, and I really appreciate all the extra effort you put into it. That's positive reinforcement. It makes that person feel better inside about the job they did. It don't always mean that you're going to get something physical like money or a gift or something. It can, though. But the main thing is to give somebody some positivity. Reassure what they're doing is worth their extra efforts. And that's kind of my take on it. What I found on the web, what it actually says, positive reinforcement means giving something to a subject when they perform the desired action, so they associate that action with the reward and do it more often. But there are situations where it can be misinterpreted, especially by kids or somebody that doesn't think straight. And what I mean by that is, if you have a kid or somebody, an adult even, throwing a fit over not getting their way, and you wind up giving in and giving them a toy or whatever to make them be quiet and behave. Now that's some negative reinforcement. That's teaching them that if they just fuss a little bit, they'll get their way. And that's not the way to be. And I'm sure you can think of a lot of other things that would be a negative reinforcement, is what I would call it. But we're here to talk about the positive reinforcements. If somebody tells you you did a certain task really well, doesn't that make you feel better on the inside? I know it does me. Do we expect to receive that from everybody? No. No, that's not going to happen. We all know that. But it's something that there needs to be a lot more of. And sometimes, you know, if somebody does do something bad, that don't mean dog them over it and just say, you're terrible, you can't do this, you can't do that. Give them some constructive criticism. You know, it looks like I got an order. What have we got going on now? I actually don't know what that was. Nevertheless, that kind of threw my thoughts all off between the deputy sheriff going that way and the highway patrol that was behind us. It kind of makes you lose your train of thought. But yeah, where was I? Well, constructive criticism. You know, that can be a positive reinforcement because, you know, you may be doing something. Okay, we've mentioned yard work. Let's say you mowed the yard and you got right up against the trees, right up against the fences the best you could, and did really well on cutting the grass. Then you get the weed eater, grass trimmer, whatever you call it. I call it a weed eater, but whatever. And you start doing the yard, and you do a pretty good job, but you miss a couple of spots. Rather than somebody coming out and saying, man, you did a good job on mowing, but you suck at weed eating, man. You need to go back and redo all that. That's not a really good constructive criticism. It started out good, but then you might say, instead of telling them how terrible they did at the weed eating, you might tell them you did really good in most of the places, but you might want to slow down a little bit and take a little more note of where you've weed eaten and where you hadn't. Just kind of double check yourself. You're doing a good job, though. That might make them think, oh, okay. And then they go back and look instead of getting mad about it. You get somebody mad about something, you can forget about any kind of positivity. You've blown it right there. So try to treat people in a positive way, not in a negative way. Give them the kudos, the attaboys, or whatever you want to call it. Positive reinforcement. Something we all probably need to do just a little bit more. And try to do away with the negative reinforcement. One way to keep positive is to be nice to one another and keep smiling. And I'm going to keep dashing, dancing, and prancing. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye for now.